49ers update. The Brock Purdy wars continue. Eric Armstead embarrassed Nick Wright on his own show. Speaking of battles, you guys remember Gladiator? Remember the opening battle scene, the epic one? It was in Germania. Well, it was later revealed to have been at Vindobona, which means Vienna. That's the city I'm in now, standing on Roman ruins in Vienna. That battle in Gladiator may have never happened, but we'll pretend that it did, and it could have happened right behind me on the old city walls. Now, the city has now become this. And of course, we also have one of the many spires here in Vienna on what is becoming a beautiful day. Look at that sky. Right under the sky, we've got the old Roman ruins. Couldn't think of a better spot to talk about Brock Purdy. And I mean, how awesome he's been his entire NFL career. We get so much data these days, and the latest one puts Brock Purdy up against all the quarterbacks over the past 2 decades. He's been the most efficient in the league, and that includes Brady, it includes Breeze, it includes Peyton Manning. I mean, you want to be in the upper right of charts like this, and Brock Purdy has definitely found a home on the upper right of charts like this. Every single one that comes out. I mean, how much more data can you possibly want? So this is what Eric Armstead said on the Fox Sports 1 show, right into Nick Wright's face. Nick Wright was sitting right next to him, and we know that Nick Wright's been peddling the most information regarding Brock Purdy over the course of the past few seasons, saying that he's a system quarterback, all this and all that. So Armstead said, quote, Purdy's ability to open up the offense and make uncharacteristic off-schedule plays and really open up the offense, that's what made the Brock Purdy difference. Pointed out that in the past, the 49ers had generally been constrained to going to Kyle Shanahan's first designated read on a play, or maybe the second read on a play. Purdy can get to reads 3, 4, and 5 because of his escapability. He quite literally is the opposite of a system quarterback, and that's exactly the point that Eric Armstead was making. That's how Purdy has been able to attain top right status on so many of these charts, so many of these tables. Every single piece of data shows that Purdy is one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and arguably at the very top of the stratospheres, because if you look at elite production, elite efficiency, he has definitely brought that. So Eric Armstead was able to explain that in football terms, and it's quite satisfying to see somebody who actually knows the game, who's big, strong, fast, skilled enough, experienced enough to talk about the game in firsthand perspective instead of just speculating and recycling tired stereotypes and terms. It's quite refreshing to see somebody like Eric Armstead with that kind of gravitas, that kind of experience, school somebody who obviously doesn't have that knowledge in Nick Wright. And it's not just Nick Wright, it's an entire ecosystem of terrible assessments of Brock Purdy that I think Eric Armstead helped shut down. I think generally you can delineate in these Brock Purdy wars, big battles like the one out in Gladiator, you can delineate sides based on who knows football and who doesn't. Those who know the game on a really, really functional level have said that Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback. Those who don't know the game have said the opposite. I know that it's the 4th of July back in the United States. 4th of July here as well. It's a little bit later, I think 9 hours ahead of those of you on the West Coast. But we'll keep this short just because a day like today means that you're grilling, you're hanging out, probably aren't really in the mood to watch a whole lot of YouTube, but we're bringing you content every single day regardless. And I thought that freedom from terrible takes would be Brock Purdy takes would be a really good topic for the 49ers on Independence Day. We actually started this day out in Prague, moved over here to Vienna, just so happened to walk by the Woodrow Wilson statue. It's a former American president in Prague. Fascinating history. You even see the little eagle there to the left of President Woodrow Wilson, but an absolutely fascinating history with this statue, because the Germans in World War II, they took this statue down. They used it for ammo. They melted it down, used it for ammo. The communists, they obviously didn't put it back up. And the connection to Woodrow Wilson, the American president, even after the revolution, after they moved back from communism, in 1989, it seemed that that connection to the U.S. was lost. But 20 years after the revolution, in around 2009, they discovered a model for the head and shoulders of Woodrow Wilson for this statue in a Prague warehouse. So they decided to rebuild the entire statue faithfully to its original. They were even able to dig up some archival photos to make the rebuilding very, very accurate. And now the statue is back in its original place in Prague, right outside of the train station where we boarded the train to take us here to Vienna. So more from Austria, including the food, Wiener Schnitzel for sure. All kinds of good stuff is coming up. Thanks for watching from the site of the Battle of Vindobona. The Brock Purdy Wars, reason and truth there has prevailed. Eric Armstead helping out in a big way. Happy Independence Day from terrible takes.